And welcome back, Air Acolytes, to another edition of Where's Our Title Bar at? Wow,
Don't
he's
know
a
what
title
happened
bender. Title bender. Boom. Water tribe. All right. You know what? I'm not going to edit that out. We're going to keep that because that was impressive.
Yeah.
It was. Welcome back to another highly organized episode of Breaking Wind, the Last Airbender podcast. I am Jason Roy Gaston. Here with me is VHS Jase, and we are here to talk about an absolutely devastating episode. That would be The Day of Black Sun, Part 1 and Part 2. I say episode, but they're actually episodes. And this is Murphy's Law. Everything that can go wrong does go wrong, which to me is actually kind of amazing considering how much they built up this invasion. You're just thinking it's going to just go smoothly, and no, it does not.
It goes as bad as it pretty well could go.
Yes. I guess it could have been worse, but not by much. Let's just jump into this. It takes place the morning after the Nightmare and Dreamscapes episode. Aang wakes up and he's fully rested, but he is a little downtrodden because he can't go into the Avatar state anymore because Azula blocked his chakra, and usually you have to pay $5 for that on CD back corners in Taiwan, but she did it for free with a lightning bolt to his back. He cannot go into the Avatar state, and therefore he is not as powerful as he used to be. That's okay, because he's got friends coming. As a matter of fact, they've got an entire army coming, including some old friends of ours, including these guys, the Swamp Benders. This guy, isn't that the pirate from She-Ra?
It does.
Kind of looks like him. These guys, and the Boulder is here as well. The Boulder and the Hippo. I've come to the right side. And of course, the Duke and Pipsqueak are there also. Hey, Pipsqueak, Duke, did Jet make it? No, it's just basically, oh, hey, guys, don't you want to know about Jet? Who? Jet who? Jet sucks.
They don't have time for it. This is like a war movie, these couple episodes.
It really is. The inventor professor and his son is there as well, but for some reason my picture's missing. That's okay. It's fine. Because they come in, they bring Aang a gift. He's got a brand new glider.
Yes.
With a snack compartment. Because if you remember, his antique glider got all burned it up. But he's got this one now. So, he's got a bit of an upgrade, and that's cool. Well, what is not cool? Being in prison, where we find Uncle Iroh. But it is not all darkness and gloom. There is one bright light that shines for him, and that is this wonderful, wonderful attendee who is kind to him and brings him the tea that he likes, and you'd think he's got something special on her, he kind of feels sweet about her, but no, he doesn't. He's just, you're very kind, thank you. Because Iroh he's respectful now. Not like he was whenever Jade came around with her weird anteater thing, and he was all pervy. Now he's very respectful, and that's good.
Well, he's got bigger things at play, hasn't he?
He has other things on his devious little mind, yes. I have cats fighting behind me. I'm sorry. They see this. They see a show going, and they're like, let's make it all about us. So if you hear a cat screaming, it's not me. I'm not hurting them. They're hurting each other because they hate me.
That's cats.
That's cats for you.
Yeah.
Sokka, however, is feeling a little down because he is doubting his own abilities to lead. Which, even though he has proven himself a capable leader over and over and over again, in the shadow of his father, he feels inadequate.
It's
public speaking. Who likes public speaking? I like.
He's got mum's spaghetti syndrome.
Yes, he does. I'm just noticing how many of my pictures are missing, which really bugs me because I spent a very long time gathering these and formatting them for the show, and they're just not here. That's okay. The invasion begins.
The magic of the technology, I could click my fingers and then magically they'd all be there,
Yeah, but let's not abuse that power.
Damn it! I just want to keep doing it.
Sorry. Image bending is a skill best used to fight evil, not for convenience, because StreamYard can't upload things properly. The invasion begins. A very interesting use of water bending we see twice in this episode. This is the first where they use, I don't know, what do you call it, vapor bending to create fog around the ships, masking their approach, because there is a very dangerous gate that they have to get through. I really like this gate. It was not what I was expecting, and I always forget about it until I rewatch this episode, but the fact that you think it's going to be like the gate that opened, oh, no. It is a fiery wall of death that emerges from the ocean. Sorry, I turned into the boulder there for a minute.
The way they use elements in this show, it's barely an episode goes past where you go, that is such a cool use of that element.
They are always finding new and interesting ways to use their bending, always. And it is a trait that continues all the way into the next series as well. That is something that they've never disappointed in. And it continues with this series as well, because Sokka had a little trick up his sleeve. He sent some specs to the inventor, and they made submarines that are powered by water bending.
Again, very cool.
It's just cool. That is really neat.
You can't argue with the coolness factor. Can I interrupt and just ask you this question?
Of course.
Was there ever a toy line? Because this show, of the 3 seasons I've watched, there is so many opportunities for toys and play sets.
I know that there was a recent toy line because they had the big ones come out. You know, they had Sokka. I don't know if they had Sokka, actually. Yeah, they did. They had Sokka, Katara, Aang, Toph, Zuko, and Iroh. I don't think they made any more than that. But as for the original run, I don't know. That is something that we can research real quick, because why not? Avatar, The Last Airbender.
It's just, you've got things like this, you know, very toyetic.
Yes, very much so. Oh, and they came out with the big Appa too, because I have the Appa. There's my cats trying to kill each other again. Let's see, maybe vintage toys. I know McFarlane Toys has a line of those as well, which are very impressive looking characters.
The fan base, which I've underestimated, is huge, so I'm shocked that there's not.
Oh, yeah. This one has, yeah, there are some really bad looking ones here. There's Aang in blue. When did Aang wear blue?
I don't know. They're just making it up as
it's because he's in the Avatar state.
Oh,
okay, I get it. Okay.
Design.
Yeah, it's not a great design, but I mean, it's not terrible. I've seen worse. I have a set of the newer figures, and I like them. I think they're pretty good.
Well, you know, thank me for taking this show off the rails.
It was off the rails long before you said something. So Iroh, in prison, talks to the woman who was kind to him and thanks her for her kindness, and then says, "You don't look so well. You should go home." "No, I feel fine." "Listen to me. You don't want to be here this afternoon." I just love that so much.
You realize that he's playing like fourth dimensional chess.
Oh yeah, Iroh
is the moment, isn't it? You're like, oh,
12 steps ahead of everybody.
Yeah,
it's one of those. I am not trapped in here with you. You are trapped in here with me and my tea. Such a terrific character, just amazing. Also, the new voice actor has taken over for Mako, who has passed away by this point. And in my opinion, the producers of Avatar were given an impossible task of replacing a very distinguished voice. I think they did a really good job. Having him...
They had a little advantage, and the tiny advantage they had, I think, was the moment they had to change voices, his character went for a very distinct change.
Yes. And he also went almost 10 episodes without talking, too. So you kind of had the Darren thing from Bewitched, where Darren would disappear for a few weeks, and then he'd come back, and you'd barely realize that Sergeant York turned into Dick Sargent. Sergeant York, Dick Sargent. Interesting.
It worked for him. It worked for him. And
he's
great.
It did.
And at not one point, Jason, am I watching that character thinking that it's a different voice. I'm not at all.
Yeah. No, terrific. And the voice actor is very respectful towards Mako. If somebody at a convention wants him to sing Leaves on a Vine, for example, he politely refuses and said, that's Mako's song, that's not my song. Yeah. Which I think is just great. He just has reverence for the character and he has reverence for what came before him.
I just think the producers did a great job. People and going, sing me a song.
You know what? If they're paying me to be somewhere and people are spending $40 a pop for my autograph, I'll sing whatever they want. I'll get up there and I'll sing my ding-a-ling if they want me to.
Here's the loose change. Do it.
Dance, monkey, dance. Yeah, that's right. So the submarines surface because they have to stop every now and again and get air, which I'm just like, you got an airbender. Why? But they got to stop and get air. Well, that's okay because yeah. But Aang is going to part ways because he's going to go fight Ozai. And before he leaves, Aang makes his move. And this is not a dream. This is not an imaginary story. Aang
he went for it.
Gets a little smoochy. And you know what? She seemed into it. Kids, you should always get consent first. But she's into it after the fact. She could have slapped him, and it would have been, I could see that coming. But she's a little hangry for angry, if you know what I mean.
But she got no time for that.
Go too far. Oh no, she ain't got no time for that. She ain't got no time for that because there's an invasion going on, and I love the new Avatar costume. He's kind of gone all a mad monk on us. By the way, I think that's great. I don't know if he just took his old costume and just like reworked it because it was all tore up and everything, but it's a good look for him. I like it.
Yeah, I think that's the case.
Yeah, so Aang is on his way and the ground invasion begins. It's really interesting to see surface to submarine warfare, especially whenever they were dragging them out of the sea like big gigantic fish and Katara's cutting them down and probably killing everybody in the inside when they hit the water. But whatever, it's fine. Now, the rest of this episode goes fairly quickly, and so does the episode that comes after, which we are going to be talking about. But a big invasion takes place. Water Tribe, Earthbenders, they all storm the capital city of the Fire Nation. Everybody is in on it. The Swamp Benders come with their big what do you call that? Moss monster?
His organic Iron Man suit.
His
organic suit.
Dollar store Swamp Thing is really messing people up. And Sokka has a moment of unabashed, psychotic badassery as he rides Appa's horn to take out a battlement.
Yeah.
And this is the guy who's just like, I don't know if I can be a leader. And then he's just like flying into trouble to save people. Just like, kill all the firebenders. Ah! He's just not good at public speaking. That's all. Oh. However, in this attack, Papa gets hurt bad. And
Taken
so
out. Down.
He gets taken out. And speaking of taken out, there's something interesting going on in the palace right now. Because we meet back up with our boy Zuko, and he is going around apologizing to pictures, apologizing to his mom, and he's about to do something. He's about to do something he's not going to be able to walk back from. We're going to have to wait on that because Papa's still hurt, and nobody's left to lead the invasion. Who can lead this invasion? Who is the only person who can lead this invasion? That's right, Appa. I'm just kidding. It's not Appa. It is.
Follow him.
It is. It's Sokka. Sokka's going to sock it to him. He is going to lead the invasion, and he is going to take out the forces of the Fire Nation. Because if you remember, the eclipse is coming, where all the firebenders are going to lose their powers, and they've got to hurry. They've got to hurry so they can take advantage of this. But Sokka mounts Appa and gets ready to go on a not really a suicide mission, but he's getting ready to go on another journey of unabashed badassery and take out as much as he can. I mean, look, this is our boy's grown up. Our boy has grown up. The boy has become a man. Yeah. He can still play with his boomerang, though, if he wants to. That's fine. We will allow that. How cool does Appa's armor look, though?
Everything about him looks amazing.
Yeah, I want that figure.
Yes.
I want that figure, and I want a Sokka on top of him doing that.
Make toys.
You ever notice this is like, what if the Never-Ending Story had a battle scene?
Oh, that's
could you imagine being a bully and look up and seeing that coming at you? Sokka on the top of it, just going.
Yeah.
Run!
Yeah, I don't know if I want any more scenes for such a traumatic movie. So.
No, don't talk that way. The Swamp of Sadness will get you. Oh my goodness! Speaking of the Swamp of Sadness, Aang finally makes it to the throne room and is shocked to find it is empty. Fire Lord Ozai, where are you? I always think it's funny when they ask questions like that. I mean, are they honestly expecting an answer? Fire Lord Ozai, where are you? I'm in the can. Give me a minute.
Am I wrong to think that he's not there because of Aang? Like, Aang's not even factoring in his decision. He just happens to be somewhere else.
No, yeah. Well, I think
it's like he hasn't run away from Aang.
No, he just knew what was coming because Ozai is not stupid.
He's not stupid. And I think that's right.
That is if there was one major flaw in the invasion plan, it was that they underestimated Ozai, and they underestimated Azula, and they underestimated their enemies. I guess they just thought it would be a cakewalk. They're going to lose their powers for a few minutes. We can go in there and annihilate them. Meanwhile, Ozai's like, oh, God, we're going to lose our powers for a few minutes. Into the bunker! Into the chopper!
Right, let's just go hide for a little bit.
Okay, so my pictures appear to be a little bit out of order, but that's okay. I will make this work. Now we're moving on to part 2, the eclipse. Ooh. So here we go.
This is the moment. This is the episode where we've really been talking about this for 3 seasons, this moment. It's all been leading up to this.
Yes.
It's eventful.
How badly can they screw this up? Let's find out together. So Aang rejoins his friends, and he's all like, hey guys, Ozai's gone. Sorry, my bad. But his friends are just like, no, listen, we got an earthbender here, and obviously he's around here somewhere, so we just need to look for underground tunnels. You do remember Toph can do that, right? Incidentally, how cool does Toph look? She's got her earthbender gear on. And I gotta say, Sokka looks awesome too. Poor Katara did not get a glow up in this episode. Everybody else did, but not her.
That's a great image.
It really is. Although I do think this is...
I'd have that in a frame on my wall, for sure.
Oh, yeah. I do think that this is the first time, like, all season we've seen Katara back in her waterbending costume, so I'll forgive that. But with Toph's help, they do discover the underground lair where Ozai is probably hiding out. And whenever they get... Oh, hold on. I forgot my favorite part is whenever they come across the poor firebending monk, and they threaten him. And he's just like, tell us where Ozai is. He's down the hall to the left. You can't miss it.
Yes.
Thanks. Even though Aang's grown up, he's still kind of a goofball. But they do get to the throne room, and they are shocked to discover that Azula is there waiting for them. And not only is she there, the Dai Li are there too. Do you remember the Dai Li? They're back, and they're in Pog form. The Dai Li from Ba Sing Se.
Yes.
The army that she literally took over, and she brought back with her because Azula is not an idiot, and she knows that bad things are about to happen. She knows they're about to lose their powers, and incidentally, the firebenders lose their powers because the eclipse has started.
But is that guy alone in being dumb and going, being shocked about it? I mean, they'd all know it's happening, right?
I don't think that they did.
Well-known fact.
I think that Ozai kept that information from his own troops because he wanted them fighting all the way up until the last minute. He didn't want them retreating in anticipation of the eclipse because he needed the Water Tribe and all of Sokka's forces to think that they were making inroads into the Empire.
Yep, that makes absolute sense.
Because Ozai's kind of a... He's kind of a dick. I mean, let's be honest, he is. However, at this opportune time when the firebenders have no powers, Zuko decides to go to his father to have a little chat and tell him that he is going to look into a career change, so to speak. He's going to forego his princely heritage. He doesn't need his family. He doesn't need his honor. He's going to instead show the world that they can be united through kindness. It's Uncle Iroh speaking through him. And he is going to join the Avatar. Such a great scene. I love that. And it feels earned. It feels earned by this point. Meanwhile, the Dai Li is fighting our heroes. And, well, Toph beats him up, basically. I mean, as I told you, this episode goes very fast. Toph beats him up. Zuko, Aang, and... No, I'm sorry, not Zuko. Sokka, Aang, and Toph corner Azula in the tunnel, and she basically surrenders until she doesn't, and then they pin her up against the wall, and then she just needles Sokka, because we still don't know where Sokka's girlfriend is, and I've gone blank. I can't remember what her name is. Suki. Yeah, Suki is still missing, still a prisoner, and of course, she knows exactly what buttons to press.
Yeah, trapped like a rat, and she still has something up her sleeve.
She is still in charge, even though she is bound and she can't move and she's helpless. Azula is still in charge. That is such.
She's fighting with this.
She is a threat. Azula is a huge threat, no matter what circumstances she's in. While this is going on, Zuko tells his father, "See you, wouldn't want to be you," and suddenly, you suck. I hate you. You're not going to be in the spinoff. And then Ozai throws lightning at Zuko, who redirects it right back at him because that's so awesome. Again, he's using what Uncle Iroh has taught him.
A big payoff, because he was doing that early in the season. He was training with that. Early in the season, very early in the season.
I don't know why this next scene makes me laugh so much, because it's such a great example of what a cunning and person that Azula is, and how little she thinks of her enemies. But whenever that lightning is redirected at Ozai, she's sitting there and she goes, "Oh, sounds like firebending's back on," and then boom, she busts out, and they run. There's oh no, run. So basically everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. The invasion has failed, and just when you think it can't get any worse, it gets worse, because now the Fire Nation has flying machines. They, way back in the first season, they stole the inventor's machine and they have duplicated it a dozen times. So now they have blimps. Not a good time to be in this rebel army. Incidentally, I love this shot. Because to me, it's just, you've got this amazing cosmological event happening behind them, and they can't even look at it because so much junk is going on right now.
Great.
And it's cool. I don't know. It's something about the composition. I was privileged recently to be in the path of a total solar eclipse, and just the sky color that they have here, just that muted color, it looks just like a real solar eclipse does. I thought that was really, really good. Cool. Zuko goes to bust his uncle out of prison, but he's too late. Iroh's already gone. Iroh has left broken bones and broken hearts in his wake. And speaking of broken hearts, of course, the battle in the sky continues. Aang Appa, all of the forces are trying to bring down the blimps, but it's not going to happen because the blimps are not going after the army. They're going after their boats. They're cutting off their way to attack. Again, so strategic, so tactical, so Azula. Yeah. And so a very difficult decision is made because they know that they've lost and they know there's no way out. And so Daddy tells Sokka, Katara, and Aang, take the kids on Momo and get out of here. We're going to surrender.
Oh, wow.
It's a moment that is so heavy, it crushes you.
Yeah.
Because you wanted these guys to win. You almost feel like getting your ball and going home because it's just unfair at this point.
I remember watching it and going, not like the reaction that you would absolutely have, because it's like, that's your immediate reaction is, that's stupid. You can't do that. And then, but really, it's the only way forward.
Well, you television shows,
they don't have a choice in that situation.
Television shows at this point, especially ones that were made for kids, they would usually have this moment of defeat at the end, and then they would be saved at the last minute by someone else. But if you really think about it, there's no one else. Everyone is there. I mean, who's going to save them at this point? The tour guide from the Great Divide? No, everyone's there. They shot their load with this, and there's no one to save them. And it's rather ballsy. It's bold of them to do this. It's bold of the series to just basically bring the heroes down to their absolute lowest point possible. And so,
I'll tell you what it does.
What does it do?
It gives me the confidence to know they know exactly how they're wrapping the story up.
Oh, they do.
If you're doing this at this point, they know exactly what's going on.
They do. The next, 10 episodes, I think, are some of the best. Yeah. I mean, it gets really good because they know exactly where they're going. There's no filler episodes. It gets intense. It gets disturbing a couple of times. And it has got a heck of a finale. I will say that. But before we get there, of course, Aang and the gang, they depart on Appa. Azula wisely chooses not to follow them because she's in a blimp. They're in an Appa and they're going faster, so there's no way they could catch them. But one blimp does not break its pursuit. It continues to follow them, and on that blimp is Zuko. Once again, hunting the Avatar. And that is it.
Really, though?
The Day of Black Sun Part 1 and 2. Basically, all the fun of Avatar with nothing but heartbreak and destruction at the end. Your thoughts, my friend. Your thoughts.
It's great storytelling off the bat. I love this moment. It feels honest to the story so far that they would lose.
Yeah.
Because they've done nothing in this series but try to play this out with as much honesty, with the lack of another better word, throughout the whole thing and the way they handle their characters and the storyline. So it works so well. Even though I'm still shocked at that moment, like I said, where you go, no, you can't, you can't surrender. That's stupid. But that's how good the story, because I'm emotionally invested in the moment, knowing that's really the only thing I can do. So really great. Everybody gets a moment. It is Sokka's graduation. It's his coming out party, isn't it? It really
is. Yes, it is.
Because he shows his leadership through strength and how he gives orders. When he is in the throes of battle and how he carries himself is all the evidence that anyone needs to know how much of a great leader he is. So everything's kind of working. There's a real maturity now. And I feel like this story is almost the end of childhood innocence, and now they are beyond that point. This is now they're developing into young men and women.
Yes.
Very
fantastic episodes. I am so looking forward to the home stretch. I think we looked at it. We're going to be done with this by the end of February. I think we're going to hit the last episode the last week of February. And then we turn around and we venture into the world of Korra and Republic City. Again, I know some people don't like Korra. They have some very valid criticisms. I think the show is a little overhated. Definitely has its problems, but I don't think it was completely the showrunner's fault. because they were supposed to have only done a miniseries, and then Nickelodeon was like, hey, give us 5 more episodes. And also, we're giving you a second season. They're like, we were wrapping everything up in this season, but okay.
I still look forward to seeing it.
Yeah. And then I don't really want to say, because a lot of it depends on some of the events in Korra, but a lot of very interesting information was leaked about the next Avatar series, which is going to be the Earthbender series. Needless to say, all I can say is it is a radical departure.
Oh, well, let's not hold it in. What are some of the... Give us some tidbits here.
Twin avatars.
Okay, I'm down for that. That works for me.
One dark, one light.
Yep.
So there's a lot of people who are kind of crying about it right now. Me, I'm always adventurous. I'm like, you don't say. And of course, we got another look at Aang from Aang the Last Airbender, the movie that's coming up. The entire voice cast has been recast, which, of course, makes sense because the gang is going to be in their 20s by this point. We're all going to have a time skip, and we're going to see them as young men and women. They have cast Asian actors in the roles, which I'm just like, perfect.
Great.
I don't know if Dante's coming back to voice Zuko. I hope he is, because I don't think anybody else can be Zuko but Dante. So fingers crossed, I hope he is. And oh my gosh, who did they get to be? Drax, what's his name? Bautista. Dave Bautista is going to be voicing the antagonist.
Well, he's got a very great voice for something like that.
He does. I love Dave Bautista.
Yeah,
I remember whenever they said he was going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy, I thought, oh god, another wrestler who thinks he's an actor. Why? I remember I made a post where I publicly apologized to him. I was like, Dave, if you read this, I am so sorry. You were so wonderful in this movie. And he has since proven himself.
Yeah.
He has since proven himself to be versatile and fun, and let's just say he does not have the personality of a rock. I don't mean anything by that. He just doesn't have the personality or charisma of a rock.
Well, he has something else, and that's talent.
He does, yes. Well, whenever he was cast in Guardians of the Galaxy, you want to know what the first thing he did was? He cried, and then he took acting classes because he wanted to make sure that he could match what was going to be with him.
Yeah,
and that's dedication. That's dedication. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really took notice of him from when I saw him in the opening of Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, he was so good in Blade Runner 2049. Yeah. He was so good. It was right then where I'm like, this is a guy who's got some range. He does comedy, he does drama, obviously he does action. Yeah, Dave Bautista's fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can bring to the Avatar universe. But again, no spoilers, and again, that is just a leak, so there's no telling how accurate that information is. But all I can say is Twin Avatar sounds really cool. I want to know what happens.
Yeah. I think the more they develop the universe, I think this is a universe that can be developed with different stories that don't have to be super interconnected, because they did such a great job of establishing this world that I think you could do a lot of stories in this universe.
Oh yeah. I've told you before that there is a technological jump between Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, where The Legend of Korra basically takes place in the 1920s. But it's like the 1920s from a Superman Fleischer cartoon. It's that Art Deco kind of steampunk, and they have technology that's kind of beyond what you would think they would have there, which is kind of neat. And so I thought, the next series, they'll probably have like computers and things like that. And they're like, nah, we're going to do something totally different. I'm just like, yes, let's do something different.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Brilliant.
Well,
great double episode.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for this great double episode. If you would be so kind, please take a look in the video description below. We've got a Patreon link there if you would like to support us. And honestly, why wouldn't we? We're so darn charming. For as little as $5 a month, you can basically shut us up. That's it. $5 a month, shut us up. And speaking of shutting up, it is time to leave. Thank you all for joining us. Stay cool, stay hot, and we will see you next time on Breaking Wind. I forgot the name of the show. Breaking Wind, a Last Airbender podcast.
Nice.